everyone, welcome to Art Day Wednesday. My name is Kristen, and today we are going to be pressing flowers and leaves into air dry clay. Alright, let's get started with the materials. For this craft, you will need air dry clay, some flowers and some leaves, parchment paper, a rolling pin, a pair of scissors, some tweezers, a plastic knife, or a spatula. Alright, and I'm going to hand it over to William for the craft portion.
So, now that we've talked about our materials, the first thing that we want to do is we want to prepare our clay. So, you want to get it out of its packaging. In my case, it's plastic, so we're going to take that wrapping off. Then I'm going to start flattening it out a little bit. And then I'm going to use my roller to get it nice and smooth. You can do short strokes to get areas flatter, quicker, and just in a straight, continuous is usually very good. And of course, what you want to go for is somewhere around a 1/4 inch or so. You could get away with an 1/8. Next, we're going to take our flower. This one is a dagwood from a tree. And we want to pick the one with the best leaves, which I think will be this one. Now, a key thing that I've found out in this process is that rather than just flattening the flower with the rolling pin under the clay, is to do it from the top and to use your fingers to apply just enough pressure to get the impression into the clay, like so. This way it helps you to get a nice clean impression on the clay. Without damaging the image you're trying to make. Now I like to just kind of go over it some to make sure that every aspect of the petal is pressed in so that you get a good full picture from end to end, all the edges, the entire middle. And you want to be especially careful along with the center part where the buds are because they're fragile. And now we'll use the tweezers to begin to separate the flower from the image. You want to be careful so that you don't create a distortion in the impression that you just made. And there you have it. And at this point, this is where we would use our knife to cut around the image to kind of just define and get rid of some of the extra that's around the image. So just about as straight a line as you can get, but you want to separate it. You want to kind of make a path for your knife first, and then you can start to separate it. Try not to get too close so that you don't, again, damage the image that you're making. You can just lift and pull away. I'll do the same thing on this side. Again, not too close. You want to allow at least, let's say, around 1/8 of an inch or so, at least, so that you don't make any contact with the impression that you just made. because the details from a flower petal are very light, but you'll be able to see them and see the details as they come out. Okay. So now we can lift this away. And we're so close on this side, I'm not going to touch this at all. I will take a little bit off this side. All right. And now for this, all we have to do is let it dry and harden. To reach full hardness, it's usually going to take somewhere around 2 days. After a day, though, it'll be pretty hard. It just won't be as hard as it's going to get. And so there you have your impression. You can see little finer edges in here. And again, it'll take somewhere around 2 days to dry fully, but it will be dried to the touch within a day. Now on the item that we're going to use, the leaf, it's actually a pretty large size for the project that we're going to be doing. So we're going to have to use a little extra clay from the previous project, as well as one of our standard size wads of clay. We're going to have to combine the two. Then you can begin to use your rolling pin to flatten it out. And of course, for an object of this size, you want to make sure that your clay is actually big enough to accommodate the entire item. And it is. So we're not going to make the impression yet. I just wanted to check it for size. All right. So we're going to center it. Try and get it right in the middle so you get the most out of your materials, and then we're just going to press firmly but gently at the same time. And of course, we want to place the side down that's going to make the greatest impression. So that will be the side where the stem comes out. That's the part that you want to press down into the clay. The flattest side you want to be up. You want to trace your edges so that it gets a good shape in your clay. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do something a little different with this one. I'm going to sink this a little bit in the middle. And we'll talk about that towards the end. But I want this to be a little deeper in the middle than on the edges. All right. Then we're going to use our tweezers to separate the leaf from the clay. Being careful not to disturb the edges with the tweezers. And there you have it. You have a nice strong spine going through. Here are your edges of the spines of the leaf and so forth. Now we're ready to just even up the edges. And for that, we'll use the plastic knife. And we'll just go along the edges so that instead of having the raggedy edges that we have here, we'll just even them out. They'll still be in the shape of the leaf. We just will clean them up a little bit. right. And there you have it. Now, of course, on this one, this will be used for a function as a decoration in the home. As it dries and hardens, which will take about a day or two, usually about 2 days. Once it hardens, then you'll be able to set it on the shelf, and then you could put change in it, or different little things like that. If it sits on a desk, you can put paper clips on it, or something very light, not anything too heavy that will risk chipping the finish. And there you have it, the finished product. Now, once fully dry, you can put a protective coating on them. You can paint them, or however you like. And specifically for this one, you could use it to keep change in, or paper clips, or anything like that on your desk. This you could just use to set on a shelf as decoration.